The title of our talk today is Cosmic Roots, Making Connections Between Earth and the Cosmos Accessible for Everyone. We have three wonderful speakers. They are Leonardo De Deo, Bartolo Dimattia, and Elisabetta Pigni. First of all, I will give you some reminders. The session will be recorded. It's already being recorded. Participants other than the speaker and moderator will be muted while the presentation is ongoing. You can ask questions throughout the presentation by typing them in the Q&A box, or you may want to post your questions in the chat box. It's okay. And the moderator, which is me, will notify the speaker to address your questions correspondingly. And just relax and enjoy the webinar. Now, a little bit about our three speakers. Leonardo De Deo is a PhD student in astrophysics and member of the International PhD College at the University of Bologna. And he carries out his research in the field of theoretical astrophysics, focusing on the development of dynamical models to investigate the motion of stars inside elliptical galaxies. Okay. Bartolo Dimattia, he is a PhD student in agricultural sciences and a member of the International PhD College at the University of Bologna. Bartolo focuses his research on soil health and wet breeding, with a particular emphasis on rhizosphere dynamics and root system development. And finally, Elisabetta Pigni, she's a PhD student in Future Earth, Climate Change and Societal Challenges at the University of Bologna. Elisabetta carries out her research in the field of life cycle analysis of new products and processes. Her research interests are in advanced methods for sustainability assessment, and currently her research focuses on the environmental assessment of emerging technologies. So here we have experts in both the cosmos and Earth. So now they will tell us everything about the connection between these two words. So the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Amelia. I will share the screen for the presentation. So this one, right?
Yes.
Do you see it?
Hi, everyone. I am Bartolo Giuseppe Di Mattia.
Yes.
Today, I will give to you a brief introduction to the Cosmic Root project. I have not the control of the presentation, so I have to ask to Leonardo to go ahead.
Yeah.
First of all, our project is a multidisciplinary project, inclusive outreach project. So what we want to do with this project is to extend the knowledge that we have as a young scientist to the community and the citizens of our society that we are working in Bologna. Please, Leonardo, go ahead with the presentation. And we want to combine the theory of our studies with also practice, with educational trips, hands-on activities, and seminars that Leonardo will explain you in more detail later. Encouraging free expression and fostering creativity. You will see that the people that are involved, that are people with disabilities that can be, mentally or physically disabled, they will use this information and they will think about the knowledge that they had and the experience that they did, and they will create new things. They will create new thoughts, they will create new objects, and they will increase and express their creativity that for us is the center of this project. Go ahead, please. So how it began, I met in 2022 Leonardo during our defense. I don't know if it was like actually a defense because we already won the position to the International PhD College. So we were there to explain our project to everyone. And what we saw was that our international PhD project was not that different because Leonardo was showing a project of dissemination based on astrophysics. And what I told to him, it is incredible similar because you want to disseminate your knowledge about astrophysics to people with disabilities, but mine is about ecology information. So we combined the two, please go ahead, and we create Cosmic Roots, that is the next slide. And the Cosmic Roots, the name is that how the organisms that are on the Earth, what is the connection, so the roots with the cosmos. So we impact all this information in one project, and it is like actually like a roots, not only because of that, but also because I am a root scientist. So I pushed a lot, Leonardo, to have this kind of logo of our project. So it is the combination of two completely different fields that they have a connection. They have a truly connection, and the connection is the energy. Please go ahead. So in the beginning, we were only me and Leonardo. And last year or this year, I think this year, Elisabetta Pigni come in our project because I don't have enough time to follow the ecological part, and she is way expert than me in this. So she was the perfect person to hold this position. And Leonardo, that is leading the astronomical part, is coordinating the scientific production of our, not only production, but also dissemination of our project. I am now I am coordinating the parallel project that we have, because, for example, we have also writing a book for child about this story that Leonardo will show to you. That is the connection between our two fields. Go ahead, please.
Yep. Wait, okay.
And this was possible only thanks to Association Voland and the people that are working every day to make it possible. That is Gioia Ceccarini, the director of Voland, and Gabri, sorry, I don't remember your surname, but it is, I really thank you for that. And all the people that are in the Voland Association, that I want to say that they are very passionate about our project, and they are putting a lot of effort, not only to learn things, but to share with us also what they learn by themselves. Because sometimes I open my WhatsApp and I say like a message from a guy from Voland that says to me, Bartolo, did you watch this YouTube video about photosynthesis? This is incredible. And I go and I watch the video. And sometimes it's something that I know, but it is incredible that they are at that level, they can share the information with the others. So I am very glad to have the opportunity to collaborate with these people. And so the introduction of the project is, and I will let Leonardo continue with
Sure.
all the detail about Cosmic Roots project. And thank you for your attention.
Yeah, essentially, as Bartolo already told you, the point of our project, the main mission, is right the connection between us, people, and the cosmos, and also our planet in a bigger sense. So essentially, we are dealing in our activities together with the Voland people, and not only with this concept of diversity. That is very important because we are exposed constantly to diversity, which can be a diversity in the phenomena we study, Bartolo, Elisabetta, me, and all the scientific community, but it's also a interpersonal diversity, which can be between the people we meet. So we have different stories, different personalities, different backgrounds, interests, and we try to interconnect all these things in a process, in a project that meets the interest of each of us, so being really focused on the person, but at the same time creates a sense of shared knowledge and shared identity. So we are part of a community that is interconnected with the cosmos that surrounds us. So that is the true advantage of being so open to disciplines and people. And in order to do this, we have developed and realized several kinds of activities. So first of all, seminars, so meetings that we do in group about astronomy and about ecology. We have an interdisciplinary approach following the fact that we work in different fields. And we are trying to promote both scientific thinking, so based on facts, experiments, and critical reasoning, but also promoting what we call divergent thinking. So be creative, try to imagine possible futures, possible worlds, also out of our planet, and try to understand if these worlds are really possible or not, but working also with our imagination, which is very important at all level of research and work. Also, we have realized several laboratories. So we want to practice, as Bartolo told at the beginning, not just thinking in abstract. And so we realized an experimental garden that Bartolo will tell you about later. Then also some artistic posters in which we are able to design something and express a personal and also creative artistic view of the concepts we are working on. So scientific concepts, but reinterpreted in an artistic key. And also educational trips that, in a certain sense, merge culture and leisure, because we want to visit science, we want to live science, so we want to explore context with other people, organizations, and so on, that are animated by the same kind of passion and curiosity that animate all of us. So it's good because we are open to other communities, and at the same time, we are able to live also the practical and true aspects of science. So the first two activities, so seminars and laboratories, are done at La Casa Tra le Nuvole, which is the home of the Voland Association. It's a very nice, actually, and colorful place in which I think the main concept is harmony. Harmony because there is a lot of diversity between people, families, and many kinds of activities, not just cosmic roots. And all of them are magically integrated in this environment, which is safe for expressing ourselves and also stimulating. It's not a safe but dead environment. It's safe but promoting always new initiatives and allowing people to really express themselves. So that's what we do in seminars, because in these meetings, we leave a lot of space to Voland people like Paolo, which is represented as an example in this picture. And also we let them bring their own researches or drawings or any kind of work they have thinking about science. So listening to newsletters, websites, videos on YouTube. We try to share this material to promote our personal view of science and then discussing together in this open and dialogic form to try to match all points of view, try to create a synthesis between the scientific side, but also the imagination side, the creative side, and so on. So we present also our personal researches, and we try to discuss together the utility and the impact of these researches on the real world. Also, we extended this initiative to university as well, because we tried to bring this format of seminars to the Department of Physics and Astronomy, organizing this seminar called Kaleidos, in which both Bartolo, Elisabetta, and me, but also Voland people, had the opportunity to witness their own passion and choosing a specific topic, reading their own research or narrating their own thought and episodes and so on to the public. So there was a really engaging event to try to involve not just us, but also the entire community of the academia, which is not, as we see, a blinded and closed system, but should be open and accessible to society to share these points of view. So Bartolo can illustrate a bit the garden.
Yes. How I told you before, our goal was to combine the theoretical part with the practical part. So I lost the presentation.
Oops.
I choose to the experimental garden to compare two old varieties of wheat. Okay, so you have to imagine that there we just created some plots, two plots, and then we sowed there, and we let the plant grow in the field, and the people had the opportunity to see all the phenological stages of the plants during the season. And we did it with organic farming, so to keep also the attention about the sustainability. And what we can see in the next slide is that the two varieties that I choose for this experimental garden are completely different. The comparison is between Bologna, that is an elite variety that is used to make bread for industrial purpose, for example, McDonald's bread. And the other one is Senatore Cappelli, that is a durum wheat that is used to make pasta. And the classic one is the pasta al cenero. And he is like the icon of the biological farming, because it is that tall to be very competitive with the other wheats of the farm. So it is possible to keep it in a biological condition. And how you can see is that all the people that contributed to create this, we can say beta, okay, beta testing about experimental garden, because we want to say if the people are engaged, they can work to keep it, because they had the opportunity to take out the weeds from the experimental garden, be sure that the wheat is is okay, it have enough water and other things like that. So they keep their eyes on the experimental garden. And now we are talking with the director and Gabri about to extend this experimental garden to more varieties. And at the end of this experiment, we can say all the people took the seeds from from the field. So we did an harvest, actually harvest. And you can say in the right of the presentation that the two varieties are completely different. One is taller than another one, and it is, it is darker, okay? And there are all the people that contributed to this harvest. I don't know if there is another slide, but I said everything about the experimental garden.
Yeah, exactly. So in that occasion, we also realized new poster because, as I told you, we have also this experimental side, which is artistic but rather experimental. And so we also included the symbol of our experiment. And also we realized these posters that you can see on the right, which contains both the pictures of our moments and the garden itself, but also drawings, just to create a wide narration around this experiment. So each of us has a different perception of it. So we try to convey all of this together in this kind of work. And also, we had the opportunity of realize a digital poster that we presented at EAS 2024 that I don't know if you are familiar with, but it's a Congress of European Astronomical Society. I went to this year in Padova, and we had the honor at least to win this title of best poster of the session about dissemination. And the poster is downloadable at this QR code if you are interested, but it's a digital poster when we really narrate ourselves, our activity, who we are, and yeah, simply explaining, telling people our message, and also to try to start a dialogue with other communities like you to share points of view about these dissemination activities, which can be really different, but always animated by the same interest and passion. So that's really important. Going talking about trips, we did a lot of trips actually. I include just a few examples. So first of all, I want to mention Monte Pastore, which is really close to our hometown. And here there is an observatory hosted by the Associazione Astrofili of Bologna. And we went there actually a lot of time because it's quite close. We participated both to public and private events. And the point is to transition, and we did it towards public event because we believe, and they are really good in this, that the accessibility should be accessible to everyone, not accessible because it's just a group of disabled people. So there should be an event in which both disabled or non-disabled people can participate without distinctions, without barriers. And so the events we went to were really well designed and absolutely good for any kind of participant with any kind of background. That was really interesting. Also, we went to Loiano, thanks also to the contribution of a PhD student, which is a colleague of mine, Letizia, which organized the visit because she also works a bit in dissemination in this structure, which is one of the main structures of Bologna, because it's the main observatory of the National Institute of Astrophysics in the Bologna place. So we visited both the historical telescope and the planetarium, and we spent also time together having lunch and so on. It was really nice because this place really is full of science and history. So it's really engaging and curious to visit. And also Medicina, which hosts a radio telescope, thanks to also another PhD student, Rachele, which is doing her PhD right in astronomy education in Bologna. So it was really good because we visited both the telescope and also the visitor center, which was rich of activities, and they are also feasible for people with physical disability, as Isabella, this person on the wheelchair, who was able to do all the kinds of activities without any problem. It was really engaging. Another kind of activity is festival, astronomy festival, like this one in Castellaro Lagusello, which is a small town in North Italy. And in this case, we did some laboratories about astronomy like a game. So they mixed in a very wise and useful way astronomy with the game and art. Also, for example, projecting onto buildings these fantastic fields of view of James Webb and Hubble. It was really nice. And yeah, it was engaging for everyone to do all these activities. And here we see about galaxies, for example. And finally, museums. So there is this one in San Giovanni in Persiceto, which is always close to Bologna. Here, another student, Nicola, helped in this because he is affiliated to the association of amateur astronomers in San Giovanni in Persiceto. And we visited the Physics Museum, which is new, open since, I think, 2022, if I'm not wrong, but not so many years. And also participated to conferences, both in the planetarium or in theater. So that was really nice. It was like a piece of theater, but on the figure of Bernardo De Deo, which is an important Italian scientist. It was really engaging because mixed theater and science. So a really useful thing to do. And another museum, the one in Rome, Macchine del Tempo means time machine in English, because it was about the history of the universe. It was organized by the Institute of Astrophysics, so it was an official exhibition, and was really full of activities because it's full of stuff to visit, panels, virtual reality, and also like arcade stuff based on science. So it was really fun as well, and very well organized also for people with accessibility issues. And the last thing I want to mention is that Voland organizes also holidays in summer, and we try to mix holidays with cosmic roots because we want to make science not a separate thing from reality, but actually a part of our common lives. So even if we are on holiday, we can talk about science, we can live science and be curious about science. So in this case, we participated to this public event of Associazione del Rubicone, which is another amateur astronomers association in our region. And it was about Perseids because it was in August. So it was a public observation of the sky with a conference, some showing of meteorites, and observation at telescopes of the sky. And we also spend a lot of funny moments together visiting other places nearby. And the point was really to include, as I told, science in these experiences, to let it be part of our life, of our experience, and yeah, try to bridge the distance between science and life that sometimes is apparent in society, that perceives science as something for a small community. Instead, we want to say the opposite, something for everyone, and it's possible to join and enjoy it. So now I leave the floor to Elisabetta, which will tell you about our latest event, which is actually, I think, quite interesting for everyone. So,
Thanks,
Elisabetta,
Leonardo.
tell me when to
Thank you.
change the slide.
Yeah, okay. So the last event we took part in was the Festival of Responsible Tourism in Bologna. And in general, the responsible tourism is about making a better place for people to live in and better places for people to visit. And it requires operators, governments, local communities, and tourists to take responsibility and act to make tourism more sustainable. The aim of the event was to encourage participants to reflect on their approach on tourism, and it crossed the entire Italy from north to south, organizing guided tours aimed at enhancing the cultural and the historical heritage of the area, organizing also meetings and debates with experts in the fields, but also lunches at kilometer zeros or experimental dinners, illustration, theaters, and so on. And in this context, we organize an event on the theme, What is Home for You? And we organized this together with the association Co-Creiamo and Le Braccianti di Euripide. And briefly, Co-Creation is a social promotional association involving children in the design of spaces. They create and support actions for the creation of public spaces where everyone can meet and socialize. And they facilitate also the exchanges of good practices and effective ways of interaction between school and territory and between institutions and citizens. While Le Braccianti di Euripide is an artistic collective focusing on various forms of arts, from poetry to photography and songs. And they organize events of social interest and collaborate on various projects with cultural associations and literary magazines. So the event, organized in collaboration with Co-Creiamo and Le Braccianti di Euripide, took place in a working class neighborhood of Bologna, and the aim was to encouraging participants and the member of the project Cosmic Roads to reflect on the concepts of home and feeling at home. And for this event, as you can, oh, sorry, can you go back? For this event, as you can see, an installation was created, this little house. Maybe you can see better in the next picture, but so this installation will remain there for 1 month, and it will be an open place that can be experienced, modified by anyone who wants to live a piece of themselves. And yeah, can you go to the next slide? Thank you. And so for this event, we asked the people of Voland Association to choose a topic and prepare a speech, a 5-minute speech to present on the day of the event. And I can say that they did a great job. So Marcello, Annalisa, Paolo, and Christian chose 4 different topics based on their own interest. For example, Marcello knows a lot about climate change. Annalisa is very passionate about travel experiences. Can you imagine that she visits more than 2 countries a year? And Paolo is very interested in astrophysics. And finally, Christian is our philosopher. And for the event, Marcello presents his own thoughts about marine pollution, as you can see in the first picture. And he tried to emphasize with the sea seeing it at the home of many animals that is being damaged by the effects of climate change. And he spoke of our responsibility to protect the environment. In the next picture, you see Annalisa, and she told us about her most recent trip to Uzbekistan, where she found very welcoming people who made her feel immediately at home. And she shared with us the feelings she was experiencing when exploring new countries, new culture, and she encouraged young people to see the world. Can you go to the next slide, thanks. In the third picture, you can see Paolo. He explored the possibility of life on other planets, such as Proxima Centauri Beta, or Gliese 581, or Enceladus. And he did some research on the condition that determine life on the planet, and he presented this research during that day. And finally, Christian, he concludes with his own reflections on The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry and his mission to find his place in the world. So the conclusion of the event was not just those presentations, but was a laboratory in which we asked the participants to draw or write what home means for them. And the laboratory starts from Matilde and Fabrizio from the Voland Association that draw their own representation of what they meant by feeling at home. And these draws were the starting points for the laboratory, where everyone contribute, sharing his or her own thoughts. And the most fulfilling part of this event wasn't just witnessing the personal growth of our participants, but seeing how their unique perspectives helped foster a shared reflection on what home means to each of us. And each presentation was a window into different worlds. For example, Marcello's environmental awareness, Annalisa's travel passion, Paolo's fascination with space, and Christian's philosophical reflections. Together, these diverse viewpoints helped the audience realize that home is not just a place, but a feeling that can be experienced in different forms. And whether through protecting our environment or connecting with others on our travels or exploring our place in the universe, the concept of home is deeply personal and universally relevant. And what struck me the most was how much everyone opened up, and they share not just their knowledge, but also their vulnerability. And this means a lot to me. And moreover, the laboratory at the end allowed us to witness real creativity in action. As we gather around Matilde and Fabrizio's drawings, we saw how each participant's contribution expanded our collective understanding of what it means to feel at home. And it was a powerful reminder that home is something that we create together, piece by piece, through collaboration and shared experiences. And so what's the take-home message? We want to show that science can be simplified and made accessible to everyone. Also, discussing it with someone who is not part of the scientific world could inspire new ideas and new perspectives. And we believe that everyone, regardless of ability, has the right to access knowledge. and contribute to research and be part of the scientific discussion. And people with disabilities often bring their unique perspectives and creativity and problem-solving approaches that could be helpful to the scientific research. And they help you to see things from a different perspective. And lastly, our aim is to break down social barriers and challenge societal stereotypes that undervalue their abilities. These contribute to a more inclusive society where everyone is recognized for their potential and not their limitations. Can you go to the next slide? Okay, so some perspectives. So we have formed and we are continuing to consolidate a network of people in which we are able to develop our sense of curiosity and knowledge of the world. We are improving our social skills, learning how to learn together and listen to each other's point of view. Can you go to the next? But we are not alone, as in a close community, but we are trying to expand our network to other organizations and associations. For example, the members of Unione Astrofili Italiani, which we actively collaborate with, the community of astronomy outreach here at IAU, the University of Bologna, with in particular our departments and Collegio Superiore, and the National Institute of Astrophysics, and also recently the associations linked to the festival Ithaca. And this means that we are really overcoming the barriers of a truly accessible communication, bridging the world of academia with society. Next. So our perspective is to broaden this network up to include our disciplines and topics, promoting a truly interdisciplinarity approach to address the complexities of our world from a broader perspective. We also want to realize more seminars and events open to the public in order to foster the development of the so-called scientific citizenship. So in this way, we aim to be a possible prototype of inclusive dissemination, discussing with our partners a series of best practices to be adopted in future initiatives, also by other people and organizations. So thank you for listening and follow us on Facebook. Thank you. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
Thank you, Elisabetta. Thank you, everyone, for all the speakers. Because this is an amazing work, and it's really very, very inspiring what you have done here. So there are some questions. Okay. Okay, so we have here some questions. First, how do you see the connection between astronomy and ecology influencing our understanding of both fields? And how can this interdisciplinary approach benefit local communities?
Wants to answer? Okay, maybe I say something and then Bartolo and Elisabetta.
I can answer actually
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the connection and about what I think, and then I can let you, because every one of us have it is an opinion, okay? It is an opinion about about the linkage between the Earth and the cosmos, we spent 1 year talking about that between us, and we are writing a book about that because it was not that clear in the beginning. Everyone in the beginning was saying, Bartolo, but why there is a connection? What is the connection between these two completely different fields? And the connection is the energy. You have to imagine that you are a photon, okay, that you are in a very, very distant star, and you start the travel of this photon between throughout the galaxy. And then during this travel, this long travel, you start looking around and you see, oh, there is a black hole. And what is a black hole? And then you go and you see like the moon, okay? And then you arrive on the Earth, okay? And then you say, wow, the Earth is very a special planet. On the Earth there is an atmosphere, and then you reach a plant, and you be used to create chemical energy and to build and to create a seed. So you become part of the ecology, and this travel is the connection. So the energy is the connection between the cosmos and the Earth. And we can see that, okay, we are a part of the universe, but we are not isolated, okay? We are continuing sharing energy between us and between and the Earth and the stars and the stars and the Earth. And so I think that this is the connection. Regarding the impact on the society, what we are creating with this project is experience for people that that is known that they are like letting behind. We are every one of us is living in a society that is going very, very far. It is very, very far. If you are not competitive, if you are not pushing in your life, you will stay behind. And what we want to do with this project is saying to these people, you are not alone. We are with you. We can share our information. You can come in university. You can say what you want to say, because sometimes people don't have the possibility to talk about their feelings, about their life, about what they want to do, what is the meaning of the life. And what we want to do is to give to these people thoughts so they can spend their day in their house and they can start thinking about ecology and about cosmos, and forget for some from a 1 hour of their day about their problems. And this is, I think, the best gift that I want to bring with me to these people, and the people gives to me also, because the day in Voland for me were very, you know, like a bubble. You are living in another world without problems, without nothing, and we know each other that the life is difficult. And I think that it is the empathy that can be created with this kind of projects. I don't know if I answered to your question, but that is my opinion.
Yes, thank you very much. It was Bartolo. It was really very inspiring. It's a very poetical way of seeing this connection between two different areas of science. It's really, I love this photon analogy. So next question. What are the best practices that you've noted while doing your inclusive outreach activities or field trips that you've conducted, which have been particularly impactful in fostering curiosity and understanding about science among participants?
I don't know, Elisabetta, or do you want to answer, or I answer?
You can answer if you want. I don't know really what to
Yeah.
answer.
No, I mean, especially maybe starting from field trips, I think that the so-called wow effect is important. So showing people something that they never think about, probably. At the same time, it's important to make these people be prepared to the event. So we organized a lot of meetings before going to these trips. Meetings also like talking together, telling our stories, meeting each other, because we think that this human factor, so the construction of the relationship, is the basis for the construction of scientific knowledge and knowledge in general. So the point is that best practice zero probably is to set this relationship. So know the group before the events and try to create this matrix of connections that then allow to learn better the concepts and also to empathize, as Bartolo told, between these emotions, because the wow effect is a huge wow if it's shared. So if it's shared by all of us, not just by the individual alone. So I think that it's impactful because in this way, science really penetrates into you and connects you with the outside. It's not just a personal experience, but it's a bridge. So it's a connection. And yeah, then maybe the last question, accessibility, Elisabetta.
Yeah,
You can,
I will answer the last
yeah.
question. So challenges. So to me, the challenge is trying to delete what I learned at university and try to understand the basic concept that I want to transmit to my audience. Because sometimes we are used to learn all these big function and equation, but they are not important. I mean, you need to break down a bit and go at the real beginning. So this process into deconstruct what you learned and try to understand, okay, but what is that? And what's the real simple meaning of this? So this is the challenge. And regarding how to overcome these challenges to engage people of all ages and backgrounds, I think the answer here is I mean, I think the most important thing is to tell what you surprise first. I don't know how you can express this thing, but yes, usually these people are really curious because they don't know anything about this topic or they know really few things. And it's good to surprise them. So for example, I remember one time I showed them a picture with white clouds that exit a plant. And I showed them that this was not pollution, but was just water. And they were okay, that they didn't know about that. And it's something very simple that you can show them and you take it for granted, but for them it's not. So just surprise them with the small details, and yeah, that's how I will overcome these challenges.
Did you have any blind or deaf person attending your activities?
No.
No.
Not at the moment.
In our group, no.
Just because there were none in the group. It's not because they felt that. Okay.
Yeah. But we know
Okay.
some projects that try to include these kind of people and try to make something with sounds, so they can read an image, just touch and listen to different noise without see the picture. So yeah.
Wonderful. So if there are no more questions, then let's thanks again our speakers of today. And a big thank you also for Kristine, who has organized this wonderful webcast. And just stay tuned for the next one. So have a nice morning, day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Kristine.
Thank you. Bye bye.